Hey, here we go. Back one more time.
At
Tuesday
Mama
night.
June's,
Is that where we're at?
3286 Inner Perimeter Road.
I knew somebody brought all this food out for a reason. I didn't know what it was for. Is that for me? Can I eat it?
I'm sure you will.
No,
Just
because
saying.
Chris is going to eat it before I do.
Well, Chris has got his own plate back there. Plus, his wife is here that can make it for him.
We're going to have to tell
That's
her.
what he said he brought her for, was so she could go make his food like she does at the house.
That's what you said. I need a wife like that. I need one like that. Can you rent your wife out for anything? Okay,
Easy.
maybe that
What
was
do we do? What kind of show we doing here?
Maybe not. Wrong show. So this week you went up to the Dome.
Yep.
I went south. I went down to Tallahassee, and let me tell you something. I didn't want to be in Tallahassee because it was the home of the Seminoles, and I'm gonna tell you what, they were out full force. Even the Garden Gold dude were out there.
Well, it's because you was at the home of Florida State High School.
I know, but see, here's my thing. I was looking around there, and I got kind of uncomfortable, so I went and stood by myself at the goalpost.
Okay.
And I was like, Jimmy should have been here. I should have went to Lowndes. You should have went down there.
Nah, I had to go to the Dome. I'd have been okay down there too.
Oh, I know you would have. But let me tell you that I got to watching that ball game, man. I thought Thomas County Central had it in the bag when we walked out there. And as soon as we got there, Trey, I think his name's Trey Donaldson. He's a 6'2" senior. He just signed the day I was there. He signed with, I believe it was Auburn, to play basketball and football. So I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. I'm going to get to see him play. Guess what happened?
He pulled a Julio.
He pulled a Julio. Except for he didn't step out of the court. He went to he went and had a pickup game of basketball and tweaked his knee. So nobody wanted to take any chances. So they pulled him from the roster. So I thought,
so they're not sure if he's actually hurt.
Well, they're saying he's hurt. He said he was hurt, but I saw him on the sideline.
Hurt as in ACL? Hurt
no.
Year,
he was
just sprained
he was
his knee?
walking just as fine as all get out.
Well, you can walk with ACL tear.
No, he was walking and running around on the sideline. So
he just sprained something.
Yeah, I think it was a precaution. So I thought, well, this Thomasville just going to walk all over him. And what I didn't realize is their second string quarterback, who's also a senior, who also plays quarterback and who also plays safety. They said he was a junior, but I looked up today and it's showing him as a senior, so he may be a junior. He's 6'2", 195, 200 pounds, somewhere right in there. And the kid can flat run, dude. When I say run.
So he pulled a Mac Jones?
Oh, let me tell you something. He looked, if I had to compare him to somebody, he looked like Lamar Jackson, dude. He threw the ball 45 yards in the air, and the receiver was in full stride, and it hit him and bounced off his hands, hit his chest, and went at the ground.
So if you didn't know, the second string was as effective as the first.
I thought, this is just me, and I thought that this kid was, the start quarterback, and everybody was just, pulling everybody's leg about that. And then I started talking to, by the way, I get a shout out to the CW guys in Tallahassee, CW NBC. They were out there filming with us. We were all talking, and he said, no, that's the second string quarterback. And if you've got a second string quarterback that good, there's a problem.
It's a good problem to have if you're Florida State High.
That's what I'm saying, dude. So, I mean, the Florida State high school football team, they are for real, dude. For real.
For real.
Like
last week when you was telling me a team was for real?
Yeah, like Vadas. We're going to get into that in a minute.
Okay.
We're going to get into it in a minute. Because I knew you were going to bring that up.
I didn't want you to forget.
But you went to – so I went down there, and I had a pretty good time. Thomasville lost. They got spanked. There's just no way around it. They got spanked. This kid was just literally running over. He had like 150 yards rushing himself.
Yeah.
And he had some I think it was like 129 yards passing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to go back down this week. We're going to go back down again this week.
Who's the game of the week this week?
Here's the problem. They're tossing it around because the first school that they had on schedule to go closed down because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no game. They went ahead and scheduled a second school, and that school within 30 minutes closed down because of COVID. So they're trying to find that third school. What had happened? The teachers and students are all catching COVID, and so they have no teachers to teach, and they can't keep the students away from each other. So, but anyway, so we don't know exactly which game we're going to, but we're going down there. It's on the CW at 7:30 on Friday night, but it's the CW out of Tallahassee. It's Friday night rivals.
And see, I'm trying to think if that's on satellite. What number is
I believe it would. Well, my dish satellite CW is 11 or 12, something like that. No, 12 is NBC. So I'm not sure down here. I don't live here in Valdosta, so I'm not sure.
Well, it's going to be the same on dish.
CW is?
Yeah.
I don't know, because what if I'm pulling off of the Albany CW?
You can't pull out the Albany CW.
I don't live here. You remember where I live?
I know, but you're on. Do you have the Florida NBC and all that?
No.
Okay, well then you might up there. I thought you was pulling off.
No, I don't even get.
But anyways,
I don't get to watch our show. So so I want you to explain to me what happened, and then you and I are going to argue for a minute. I'm just telling you straight up.
On what?
On the Dome. What happened?
We lost.
Well, I think everybody in the world knows that now. For number 14 loses.
Folks. Lowndes High goes in ranked number 5 into the Dome. We're playing number 4 Walton. We are returning, or we lost about 16, 18 starters. They returned 16, 18 starters.
Hey,
they beat us.
How do you can't lose 16 to 18? Oh, Walton returned.
Okay, 16
it sounded
18.
like you were saying that there was, okay.
They jumped out to 14-0. We come back, tied it up. Then they went up 28-14. We come back in the last minute and a little over a minute and a half and tied it up. Go to overtime. We missed a field goal. They scored a touchdown.
Okay. So what was the problem? Why did they lose?
We lost because we're a young, inexperienced team.
But okay. Here's where you and I disagree, okay? So you have a football team and you lose for a reason. You don't lose because you're not as good. Inexperienced.
You're not as good.
Yeah, you're not as good.
You do lose because you're inexperienced.
Where did they go wrong? Okay, a field goal.
We missed a field goal.
Okay, you missed a field goal, and evidently you were down so many points. I mean, I watched the game, so
a lot of us now. There is questions. I personally think we played better in a 4-3 than a 3-4, and most of the game when we was behind, when we give up the touchdowns, I believe we was in the 3-4.
Okay.
Now when we went to the 4-3, we was coming back. I don't know why Coach did what he did. We haven't talked to him yet. We could give every reason in the world.
No, I'm not.
Inexperienced offensive line, inexperienced defensive line. Our secondary needs some work. We lost all of them last year. It just, as they say, it is what it is. We lost. Now, I think it was a good loss because
you lost the number 4 anyway.
We was down 14-0. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I think a lot of us thought, oh, heck. Because the first 2 possessions Walton had, they scored easily.
Right.
So after 2 possessions, you're down 14-0, and we ain't moved the ball. Now, we know it takes a little bit of time, but still at the same time, you're thinking, any team's going to think, oh, heck, especially when you're young and rebuilding. But I'm going to tell you, them kids battled back. They did not give up. Ja'Curry Brown is a man-child. They would have him wrapped up, and he would still get away from them. So I think our offensive line grew up some. We still have some work to do. There's no doubt that Coach DuBois has them out there practicing, working on the stuff, working on the mistakes. As he says, getting better every day. But I'm going to tell you, I give them hats off. We may have lost, but there's no reason at all for our young men to hang their head on that game.
It's not
like we lost to the number 4 team in the state. returning, like I said, 16, 18 starters. And when you're replacing 16, 18 starters and you hang with a team like that and you take them to overtime, there's nothing for you boys to hang your head about.
There's nothing for them to hang their head about. But I'll make sure you got it all out because it's time. And I told you this on the phone the other day.
You ready to fire Dubois?
I'm ready. I'm not ready to fire anybody, but I am. You did say this just now. You don't even realize that you said it. The coaches got out-coached by Walton's coaches. That's exactly what happened. You just said
that's your opinion on that.
No, but you even said it. There was questionable about this in the 3-4 and the 4-3, and when they did, they should have been in this defense.
But if we come back and won, y'all just said he's a hell of a coach.
You're right.
So no matter what he does, you're gonna question him.
No, I'm not questioning him. I'm saying
you only
fact.
question when they lose.
No, I'm saying fact. Fact is he got out coached because he lost.
All right.
And the reason he got out coached because even as you said, the kids played. Look, you got to take your hats off to your car because let me tell you something. That run that he made right there at the end to tie it up when he ran and he slipped away from 3 people, and then he ran 20 yards and slipped away from 2 more people, and then he ran to get out of bounds to stop the clock. That was the smartest play I've ever seen for him. That was excellent. But then the problem that I have is even you as the greatest Lowndes fan there is, because you've been there since day one. You've been there since since you grew up in diapers, you were going Lowndes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I expect nothing less from you than to support your team like that. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you sit here and unconsciously say, well, the 3-4, the 4-3, that's coaching. That is coaching.
Brother, we question when we win.
Okay.
We question why didn't we do this or that. Is that saying he's out coached when we question why he didn't run the ball or pass it?
Yeah, what you're saying is the same thing that I'm saying. You're saying it in a different way.
No, you're questioning
nice
because we lost.
I'm not
you're questioning because we lost.
No,
if we had won, you wouldn't question.
No, I am questioning the reason that they lost. You cannot give a reason, but, we're young and this and that. I'm telling you right now, The reason that they lost was because...
Introducing the next Valdosta Wildcat football coach.
Yeah.
Roger, you're guaranteed to go 15-0.
The problem is, you want to be a smart aleck about things.
I'm just saying. Last week you said Valdosta's, boy, they ready. They're ready. Oh my God! I've never seen them play this good.
Wait.
And then look what happened. And I told you then, let's calm down on it. This is nothing against Valdosta. I was trying to tell you that was a scrimmage game.
I understand that.
Let's calm down on the expectations.
What you're doing is you're throwing shade right now, because I'm on Lowndes. Let's stick to Lowndes. You want to go back to Valdosta?
No, I'm just saying.
Stick to Lowndes right now, and then we'll talk about Valdosta. I said we would. So let's talk about Valdosta when we.
No, let's go back to Lowndes.
If
Lowndes. We had won, there wouldn't be no questions that he did a hell of a job.
That's not true. I can see.
Okay.
That's not true, because I will tell you the truth, whether it's good or bad. I told you the other day, I felt how I felt about Valdosta. I told you the other day, and I'm going to tell you right now, that's exactly how I feel. And there's a lot of people who think the same thing.
Okay.
We're going to take a break, and we'll come back because I'm going to have to get a glass of water and calm down.
Need a website for your business? Let Shadow Fox Design help. We will design and build your website so you have more time for your business. We will help with all your online needs so you have more time for your customers. Learn more now and get started by going to www.shadowfox.design.
Coming back. So what I'm going to say is, we have disagreements on this one, and I completely understand that we have disagreements.
Okay.
So my whole thing is, I understand where you're coming from as a diehard, just as Marcus. Marcus is a Valdosta diehard. Speaking of Valdosta, last week the week before, I was so impressed with them that I did make that statement. Guess what? I was wrong because they got it handed to them 21 or whatever it was to nothing.
It's 40
or 41,
42 to 28, I think. But
something like that.
Regardless, what I was saying was nothing against Valdosta. I think they're going to be fine. But I was just saying, even if it was Lowndes, I mean, I can tell you now, if we had won last week, the other night, I still ain't going to be. I'm still going to say pump the brakes on it.
I understand that. You can pump the brakes, but say what's in your heart. I'm going to say what's in my heart. If you want to pump the brakes and hold back, you can do what you want to. You know me. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm feeling. And to me, Lowndes got out coached that game. And I'm telling you, I bet you the coaches will say the same thing, but we really need to move on to NCAA.
On to something else.
All right. Yeah, because we just literally, I'm telling you guys, we had so much stuff to talk about, and we talked about Lowndes the whole time. So you got your wish. You got to talk about
You said something about that.
All right. Oh, we talked about that's that boy right there down there, Trey Donaldson. That kid, I'm telling you, I didn't see him, so I can't tell you about it. But that other one that was on there, he is going to be flat awesome. It's Drew Farrett, I think is what his name was.
The backup?
Yeah, the backup. He's 6'2", 180 pounds. Senior. He graduates in 2022. So how can he be a senior if he graduates? Is that this year?
It's the 21-22 school year.
Season? Okay. All right. So there. Okay. So, I mean, that dude had all kind of offers and everything else. See how flustered you got me? I missed all of this stuff. We didn't talk about none of it.
What is this?
These are all the schools that he actually were committed to. There's like 30 of them. Okay. So I got to ask you a question. We're in the NCAA, right? But what football team has the most professional athletes? What high school football team has the most professional football players in football? That doesn't mean just the CFL, NFL, but in professional football. Who has the most?
Currently or overall?
Overall.
I would say somewhere down around Miami or Poplar.
No. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Georgia.
Oh, Cedar Grove? I don't know.
Valdosta High School
has the most in the NFL right now.
That's it. No, it has the most overall.
Oh, okay.
Overall, they had 11. Thomas County had 8. Lowndes, how many do you think Lowndes had in the past and all over? Now you
in all of NFL history, we should
not
have
NFL history, high school history.
Do what? How many guys went to play in the NFL from Lowndes?
From Lowndes. Since Lowndes started high school.
That's what I said. In Lowndes high school history.
You said in NFL history. Go back and watch.
Well, yeah, because they went to the NFL. I would say there should be somewhere around 8.
You're close. It was 7.
Okay.
It was 7. And then the last one was 2020. 2020 was Kenny Moore.
No.
It's right here. 87.
What?
1987.
No, Buddy graduated in the 70s.
Okay, well, you better go back to try figure out your graduation because that was in 87, dude.
Where they got that from? He wasn't playing in 87.
Camden, how many does Camden have? Camden has like 3 or 4.
6.
Tift County has 5. Brooks County has 4. And
now you're saying this is just from South Georgia, though.
This is Georgia, period. I just picked these out, but these are from Georgia.
I would have thought it'd been some team up from around Atlanta.
Colquitt County only had 3. So anyway, I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit that the schools around here are pumping players into the NFL. All right, the preseason AP poll, we talked about that last week. You remember who was number 1?
Florida State.
That's exactly what I was talking about as far as Lowndes goes, because you just stuck.
I got to stick to my team.
See,
just like you're going to stick to yours.
I'm not going to stick to mine. Not if it's not true. Mine's at 13.
Well, you just asked, did I remember? I was
You don't remember nothing. Ever.
And Jimmy's poll, they're number
but
one.
see, the other poll, they're at the coaches poll.
Coaches.
Yeah. Florida's at number 11. Okay, the news this week. The big news that broke this week was a coach said something that was profound, and I completely and totally agree with this coach, and I don't like him. I've never, ever agreed with this coach before in my life, but this was the best statement he's ever made in his complete history of coaching.
What's the comment?
Who do you think it was?
I have no idea.
Who do I dislike the most?
You can't
here we go.
Can't talk about Bobby now.
No, this is not about Bobby. I like Bobby, but I told you that last week. Here's the quote. It's quote. He knows what he's supposed to do at practice. He knows what he's supposed to do. This is not a democracy. Everyone doesn't get what they want.
Saban?
Everyone doesn't get what they want or what they want to do. This is not a democracy. I coach this team.
Saban?
Nick Saban. That is the best thing because see what's happened? All these kids are going back and saying, well, I'm making money now. I don't have to do this. And that's exactly where this came from because one of the tight ends didn't want to do this or whatever. And Nick's like, you know what? You don't have to. That's fine. You ain't
Nick don't need you. You need Nick.
That's it. And so evidently he was making a little bit of money, so he thought he was all that. You know what? Nick, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't gonna say that I love you. I'm just gonna say I love the statement that you made, and that was probably one of the best statements that I've ever heard him make. So let me ask you this question. So out of the NCAA draft or the NFL draft, I'm going to give you a couple players, and you tell me which one or what their grades were, A, B, C, or D. Okay?
A being highest.
A. What school you go to? The A is the lowest.
Well, you know.
Anyway.
So, I did drive through Gainesville and lost some brain points.
Well, yes, because you're a Seminole. Anyway, so if you're going to, let's talk about Wilson. Zach Wilson. Is it Zach Wilson?
Zach Wilson, the one that left his prom to go to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What grade? You'd give him a B this year so far?
No, that ain't what you was asking.
What grade would you give the ones that are in the draft at their status
I'm giving him a C right now.
Okay. All right. Mac Jones.
Mac, I'm probably going to give a B.
All right, let's go back to Wilson. Why would you give him a C?
Where is he at?
You tell me.
The Jets.
Okay.
No,
it's not because you didn't watch the ball game evidently this past weekend.
No, because it's preseason.
Because let me tell you something. He
looked great against the second, third stringers and the free agents trying to hang on to make the practice squad.
And he does to everybody else because he's got an A.
Well, good job.
And Mac Jones, you said
playing the third string.
That just tells me you're not watching. So Mac Jones.
I don't watch preseason.
What do you say with Mac Jones?
You don't watch preseason.
You don't watch swimming. You don't watch. Well, you do watch baseball. You don't watch basketball. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I don't watch basketball. I watch more this year than I have my whole life.
That's my whole point. Before we started this show, you never watched basketball. And when we first came on, what was it you saying? What did you say?
I was going to potty breaks whenever it come to the NBA.
When it come to the NBA, you were taking off and getting another drink. Anyway, so Justin Fields, what would
keep
you
it up?
Justin
I'm gonna grab
Fields?
a drink.
You're gonna need one.
Justin Fields, he looks great against third stringers.
See, so in other words, I can't have an intelligent conversation.
No, you can't because I'm going by what I hear from.
Well, you hear from
sports shows.
Well, he was actually playing first stringers. He played with the first string, and he played against some of the first string. So
how long did the other first stringers play for the other team?
I don't know.
Well, that's important.
I didn't go.
That's important. I mean, if they only played one down,
at least I watched the game, dude, so I can get some intellectual conversation on it.
But if he's only playing the first team defense for one series and they sit out, then
the whole point
can't. The thing is with me, you can't tell on preseason.
The thing is with you don't watch.
You can't. But preseason. Because preseason, you can go 4-0, and guess what?
But no, here's the thing.
You're 2-14.
Let's just face it.
Or 2-12.
he got a B, and so did Trey Lance. And then they wasn't.
But I told you I
for-
like Lance.
Yeah, so you'd have gave him an A just because you like him. My whole thing is watching the preseason. I can see what I saw last night in the Jaguars, and I think we're supposed to be on NCAA, and I don't know how we got all the way over to this.
That was you.
So we'll hold that till later. Let's keep talking about NCAA.
But we're talking NCAA. But now you pulled up quarterbacks from the draft.
The quarterbacks from the draft, the NCAA.
So let's talk NCAA.
That's what we were talking.
No, that's quarterbacks in the draft that's in the NFL.
Where did they play? Where did they play to get in the NFL draft? In the NCAA.
But if you're talking about them in the NFL, they're in the NFL.
So anyway, let's talk sports. We ain't gonna say. I mean, you're not making any sense. So all right. So now, we're having some issues. Don't know if our boy's gonna be here to be on the show next week.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear. Haven't heard them back.
So your Seminoles.
Yeah.
How are they going to fare in the ACC?
Probably middle of the pack.
Do you know anything about them?
I mean,
have you watched
we ain't really got the Milton from Central Florida is probably going to be our starting quarterback.
Okay.
They're still having some battles at running back and on the line. I'm saying middle of the pack. It's going to take the man a few years to get in there and get his system in, as I expect any coach.
All right. So,
I mean, it's not like he's taking over a Florida State team that was 12-1.
Nobody ever does, because coaches don't get fired because they're good.
Well, but you get some that leave because they just retire.
Well,
but you expect them to stay up there.
Usually,
he's taking over, and he's taking over a team that right now is just decimated the last couple of years.
Okay.
So I don't, and most real fans of any team don't expect a coach to come in and turn around in 1 year or two. They expect improvement the second year, and as long as you get improvement, you can build on that.
But you still got to come in and win at least 8 games.
Well, you're going, yeah.
I mean, you can't just come in there and say, "Well, this is a rebuilding year. I'm only going to win 3 games."
Well, I expect them to win 7, go 7-5. Maybe 8-4.
Because don't you think
he's going to make a jump this year?
But
They're
that's
going to
what
make
I'm
a
saying,
jump this year.
I was going to say, don't you think if you're hired, you've been a head coach somewhere, or you've been close to a head coach somewhere, so you know what's going on. It's not like this is your first rodeo in the NCAA, so you know what's going on. So you should be able to bring that winning. What do I want to call it?
Mentality.
Pizzazz, mentality, whatever you want to say. Bring that to the show. And if you're bringing it, then I think you could win an NCAA championship. I mean, is it likely? No, because you don't have it. If you've got to get everybody buy in, and it's not really your team until your freshmen that you come in with are seniors. It's not really your team.
You're freshmen, sophomores. And it seems he has gotten rid of some that didn't want to listen, whether they graduated or whether they just left.
Right.
But I'm okay with him. Like I say, as long as he's improving every year, I think he'll win 7 or 8 games this year. But it remains to be seen. I think we're definitely on the right track.
Well, and you got Florida, and Miami's playing Alabama. I tell you what, let's take a break and we'll come back. And being that we took like 5 minutes of the NCAA time to talk pro, then what we'll do, we'll feed back on that. But we'll be back in just a minute.
All right.
Need a website for your business? Let Shadow Fox Design help. We will design and build your website, so you have more time for your business. We will help with all your online needs, so you have more time for your customers. Learn more now and get started by going to www.shadowfox.design.
So we were just talking about, and it's like I told you off air. You don't make the rules, dude. You got to follow with
I
the
got
rules.
them. I got the rules next week.
Yeah, you make up anything you want to when it comes to. Jimmy's like, yeah, okay, you can just run around in your underwear. Nobody say a thing to you. Well, they would say a lot, but anyway.
They might.
All right, so we were talking about Miami. I think we left off when we left off.
Talking about Miami and Alabama kicking off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's preseason, and you don't like to talk preseason. So how do we make an adjustment on who at preseason is number one? And how are you going to tell me whether Alabama is going to beat Miami or Miami's going to beat Alabama if you don't believe in preseason?
Alabama's going to start off 1-0, and it's not even going to be close.
You don't think so? Huh?
No. Then I'll tell you what. Then Miami will run off and win 8 or 9 in a row, and then they're going to lose their last 2.
Well, I'm not going to give you my prediction right now because that's next week's show. Because that's the first week that we're actually going to be airing on 49. And
I'll give you my prediction this
NBC,
week and next week.
It should be the same thing, but on NBC 49 out of Tallahassee. I'm really excited about that, and everybody down there, they're really excited for us too. So, so I'm going to wait to hold off on my prediction right there because I don't watch preseason.
Well, then why'd you ask me about it?
Because I wanted here's why I wanted to ask you that. Because
I am not betting against Saban.
No, a while ago though. Here's where I have a problem. You contradict yourself over and over and over again. Because when it comes to NFL, you don't believe in preseason. But when it comes to college, you're gonna
college don't have a
because
preseason.
Of this and because of that.
College don't. In Atlanta, we can talk that. But to say, well, how'd he look against Detroit? Well, he started against second and third string.
Well, that's not true, though. Here's the thing. If you watched preseason, you would know that is absolutely not true. Because, like, as of last night, all of Jacksonville's first team was in against all of the other team's first team.
How long?
For the whole half, for the whole first half of the ball game.
Not all the coaches do that.
But see, you can't. But that's just it. What I'm getting at is, you're asking how long because you thought you got me on that, and you didn't because that's what I'm trying to tell you.
How long they played the first game, scrimmage game?
They played the same amount that they played every other game.
Yeah, all their starters played.
I didn't say that. You just know what you asked me. You said how long did they play the game? They played the game the same regular that they played all the other games.
But you just said they played their starters the whole first half.
They did.
So all 3 scrimmage games they played the first half of every game, the whole first half.
No, you got to figure out who you're gonna put in there.
But I just asked you, and you said they did the same thing all 3 games.
We ain't even played 3 games yet. There's only 3 preseason games. One's next week.
They shouldn't play any.
I disagree with you. I think this is actually great because you had 100 people, and you got to cut it down somehow. And that's
what your practices are
ask
for.
Myers. You know, you can't keep 53 people on your roster, which means there's a cut. Actually,
Actually,
at 4 o'clock this afternoon was actually the second cut.
Yeah.
4 o'clock this afternoon. So there should be more coming out, but there's some notable cuts that we need to talk about in a minute. But it's just like Nick Saban couldn't handle the NFL, so he went back now. Urban Meyer, he said it's so different because the kids come out, they get to come out on the field and play, and we got so many people to practice with and all that. He said, but in the NFL, you got to cut down to 63 people or 53 people in 3 weeks. That is one of the hardest, insane tasks that I've ever done. So the differences between college and professional are astronomical, to be honest with you. All right, so let's do this real quick. On the NFL, do you know what an NFL football player makes that's on the practice squad?
And about like
per week.
233,000 a year.
It is, I don't know. See, you must have figured it out because I didn't. But it's $14,000 a week.
Okay. It ain't that hard.
Well, then why did you get your calculator out if it ain't that hard? Do it in your head.
Well, you the one that pulled up the article. You didn't read it to see. How much is it? $14,000 a week?
Now, this is for 2021. Yeah. 14.
So they're making $728,000.
$728,000, and they're only playing 4 months. So I think I could live off of
Well,
that.
no, I went 52 weeks now.
Oh, they don't play football year round. No wonder you got to pull out the
Well, their contracts, they get paid year round. All right, so let's just go 5 months.
5 months.
70,000. They get more than that.
I think it worked out to that's per week. 14,000 a week for 4 weeks is how much?
It's 56,000.
So 56,000 per month times 5. So that's like 250,000. You were right, and you don't even know it. See there? Trust yourself.
Well, you asked
Jimmy.
the question and didn't know it.
Yeah,
I was going
I
blind.
didn't care.
I was going blind.
I know you were, but I didn't care what the actual annual salary was.
Well, then why'd you ask it?
I did say what the annual salary. I said what was the weekly salary.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
your problem. You don't listen, man.
Oh, Lord.
That's your problem. You don't listen. So anyway, the cuts today they have to be down to an 80-man roster, and then you actually have the deadline for cuts for training camp are on the 1st of September. They have to be down to 53. And you have to be able to cut all waiver claim periods ends at 4 p.m. on the 1st. So they can have these practice squad players that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They can have those on their team. And I think there's only like 5 of them. And they do not, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think they go against your cap. Trying to take a peek. I saw you.
I'm trying to take a peek.
You cheated in high school, didn't you?
Every day I could.
That's what I thought, because I see you looking at my paper over here, man.
Oh, Lord.
So the NFL, who would you think? I'm going to give you 3 names. You tell me who you think is maybe on the chopping block. Okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
You got to answer. You can't look at me like you did over there.
I'm waiting for you to ask instead of just yielding and just like standing there.
Ertz from Philadelphia.
Heck no.
Sony Michel.
Chopping block or trading block?
Chopping.
Nah, ain't going to be Hurts.
What about Sony Michel? I said Sony Michel.
Michelle.
And David Johnson out of Houston.
David Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I say Sony Michel.
They're all 3.
They ain't no. The Eagles tight end just got hurt
after preseason.
Well, I tell you what, go ahead and cut Ertz.
That's exactly what I said.
Go ahead and cut him. You just lost your other tight end, and you ain't got nobody else. So go ahead and cut him.
That's what I'm talking about. That they put that up there, and they're going to want to cut him. He won't last 10 seconds on the block.
No, they're going to trade.
He wouldn't last.
They ain't even going to trade him.
Well, what they're trying to say is they could use the money.
Yeah, well,
they could get his money because they just signed him to that big deal. So they're saying that they could get rid of him. Now,
you can get your money, and you still need a tight end.
Yeah, exactly. So Sony Michel only appeared in what?
Few games.
I think, it was only like 8 or 9 games the whole time. So
he had a great rookie year, but I don't think he's exactly been healthy since.
But see, New England hasn't had anybody to block since Tom Brady left because everybody left with him. So my question is Sony Michel, is he that bad, or is it just the team that bad?
I don't know. He was good in college, but he was great his first year. I believe his first year he had almost 1,000 yards, but I believe he's been a little bit hurt since then. So it could be a mixture.
Do you take the chance on letting him go?
Who you got?
That's just it. Do you take the chance though? If you know that your other tight end just gets hurt. Oh, we're talking about Sony Michel. I don't know. They've got to have another running back if they're thinking about getting rid of him.
I mean, you're going to have to. I mean, if you get rid of the guy, you've got to know what you got behind him. And with him, they know they've got consistency, but let him go. He won't last 10 seconds on the free agent market.
I tell you what would be awesome, and you may not like this, but I think you do the double tap and Atlanta picks him up. Because then you got Gurley and him.
Gurley ain't there no more.
Where'd he go?
They released Gurley.
When?
Last year, after the season was over. They didn't renew his contract. It was a 1-year deal.
Where have I been? This whole world is
in another world.
Oh, no, look, let me tell you something. You're talking about somebody in another world. But anyway, so David Johnson, the reason they want to release him from Houston, first of all, is Watson going to play?
I don't know. He's not cleared legal problems yet.
Well, he's not clear, but he's practicing.
Well, you can practice all you want.
It's preseason, though. Isn't that what you said? You
Yeah.
shouldn't have to practice.
But I said he could practice all he wants, but they ain't got him doing anything right now.
Yeah, he's practicing with the team right now.
I say he plays for Houston if he plays.
So you think he's going to play, though? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
You think he's going to play this year?
I think he will.
And you think he's going to play with Houston? You don't think anybody's going to trade up for him?
No.
Trade for him?
Who they got backing up? And that's the
they didn't. I don't think they brought anybody else in.
So you going to trade your starter and pull a Falcons and just go with somebody off the street?
Do you think getting rid of the questions about him, you get that out of your locker room to clean up that whole team? Because let's face it, you got rid of your boy who's out in Arizona now, J.J. Watt. Now, J.J. Watt did everything he could for him, but he was a positive influence, and they still got rid of him. Mm-hmm. So do you keep Watson with all of this bad publicity?
If they was going to trade him, they should have already.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the thing is, I don't think they can trade him because I don't think they're able to. They can trade him if they want. But the thing is, if you trade him, who are you throwing in as your starting quarterback?
They've got somebody there. I forget who it was, but
Chris, can you look that up?
The question that I
Houston Texans quarterbacks.
The question I have there is, if he plays, I think he should. I think he needs to get out of there anyway. I think he needs to go somewhere else.
I don't think there's no question about that, but it's, are they going to move him?
I think they'll.
I mean, there's no doubt he needs a fresh start. They need a fresh start.
But I don't think they want to move him. I think they're just trying to keep him around because they know how good he is. But I would probably try to get at least a first and 2 seconds or thirds. Because Houston's going to have the worst team in the league this year.
I think this year they're going to have to play him so he can increase his market value again. Because right now it's hurt. He is one of the top quarterbacks, no doubt. But people are wanting to say, I really don't think a lot of teams are going to do anything until his legal situation is worked out.
Go ahead, Chris.
Deshaun Watson, Davis Mills, Tyrod Taylor, Jeff Driscoll.
You could go with Tyrod. Tyrod. I could go with Tyrod.
I go with Tyrod. I could go with Driscoll.
But they're not going to do anything. I don't think they're going to do anything until another team knows I'm not going to trade for him, and then he goes to jail for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, but if you trade for him, if you're not going to take, you're saying
as another team, I'm not taking that risk.
I know, and that's just it. Do you take that risk on the outside? And you know what? Right now, if you're another team, you could probably pick him up with a risk, but I wouldn't give up a 1. I don't know that I even give up a 2 because you're going to take on his salary too.
I think you're going to have to give up a 2, but I'm definitely not giving up a 1, not knowing whether he's actually going to be able to play for me or not.
There's no way. I don't know that. But see, that's why they won't trade him because that's what they want. They want at least.
And then it's according to who I'm trading him to. Do I want their quarterback? Now, I would trade for their starting quarterback and a draft choice, but it's according to who it is. But I'm personally not going to do anything until his legal issue is settled.
Well, yeah, I kind of understand where you're coming from, but I guess I'll reserve that till next week too, because that's one of those things. We're going to circle back. We're going to circle back at that next week. All right. So we're going to take a break right now, pay some bills, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Design help. We will design and build your website so you have more time for your business. We will help with all your online needs so you have more time for your customers. Learn more now and get started by going to www.shadowfox.design.
Slacker. He's the slacker. We're talking about Chris behind the camera. there. We are we're interviewing a gentleman for the position
Is it
of
really
social.
an interview?
So yeah, this is an interview. We're interviewing him for a social media spot with our company, right? And so we're off camera. We went to the commercial. I said, "Come on, jump up here." He said, nah. It's just like Chris.
That's what Chris
That's
said
what
he
them
wouldn't do either, and now you can't hardly keep him off of it.
Now these IT guys want to stay behind the camera. All right, this is a free for all. Chris, do me a favor. It's going to be our free for all 10, 15 minutes. Just put up sports. Pull up sports and give me the first news that you have on sports. First thing that comes up, let's talk about it. Let's see if we can figure out if we know anything about it.
Probably going to be about the ACC and all them coming together.
I asked him to do this. Don't give him ideas. So, what's the deal with the ACC? Tell me about it.
Yeah, the first thing. Big Ten, ACC, Pac-12 announce.
What did they announce?
Alliance to address future of college athletics.
So
okay, read it. Because I ain't had time.
So what?
And
what they're
it's
doing,
not going to take effect for a few years.
You don't have to read it. Just give us a brief synopsis. See, because that's why I wanted.
You done blew his mind with
the
synopsis.
other gentleman to come on because he knew about it. He was ready to talk about it off camera. Go ahead, Chris.
They formally announced an alliance that has been the topic of much conversation over the last 2 weeks. The agreement between the three is described as a collaborative approach surrounding the future of evolution of college athletics and scheduling. The purpose is to focus on NCAA governance, student athlete welfare, and ensuring the collegiate model continues.
Okay, so basically what that is saying is they want to form their own super league like the SEC did.
Yeah, basically. I mean, and they've said it's to take on the SEC.
Yeah, because everybody's wanting to be able to go to the ACC. The SEC. Here's my problem with that whole thing. What they're trying to do is get everybody else to go together, and they still can't hold water to the SEC. All right?
Yeah, but the SEC can't keep this forever.
Why can't they?
They can't.
The SEC's been growing since it started.
But they can't. Well, let me rephrase. Alabama cannot keep this dynasty going forever.
Now, I agree with that. But you got to look at every other team that's in there. Everybody's wanting to come to the SEC. Why do you think Texas and Oklahoma are both wanting to come over here? So
they can't win their own conference. How are they going to win the SEC?
Well, we'll see. They're ranked number 2 or 3 right now. So
Oklahoma's number 2, I believe it is.
So the question I have is,
but they ain't running the SEC schedule yet, neither.
They haven't. But here's the question for this year. They're going to run who they play, which is those other leagues in the ACC and the Pac-25 and the all those other folks. So the question is, they're not going to play the caliber of teams that the strength of schedule is what I'm looking at. So if they're not going to play the strength of schedule, do they have the right to be at number 2?
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it.
But that's what I'm saying. So if they don't, if they're playing Oklahoma State or Oregon minor league Ducks or whatever, they're playing somebody that's not even ranked, but they win every game. Should they stay at number 2?
No, I disagree. There is.
Hold on a second. Excuse me, just 1 minute. I interrupted you. I know. Hang on. Do me a favor and look up the schedule for Oklahoma Sooners and find their schedule. That's what we're going to do.
By the way, folks, we are at Mama June's at 3284, I believe it is. I know it by heart. Then I looked at him and I just lost it because looking at that is not what you know. But anyway, won't you show them the food that they have? Some of the food they have tonight.
They can see the food. Look at it.
Yeah, but you see it from the side. They got corn, shrimp, chicken.
Because I pick it up, I'm eating it.
Look
at that. They got banana pudding. See this
brownies.
This plate over here has all. It's got. I mean, every vegetable. Every
they've got healthy
sweet
food
that you want right there.
They've got healthy food. They got fat
healthy.
boy food too.
But
food. I said they got the peaches and oranges. And
all right, go ahead.
But anyway, Chris.
Go ahead.
I got Oklahoma Tulane on the 4th of September.
Oklahoma's going to win.
Nebraska Oklahoma on the 18th.
Oklahoma's going to win.
Oklahoma Kansas State on October 2nd.
Oklahoma's going to win.
Oh, I went the wrong way. WCU Oklahoma the 11th of September.
WCU, what is that? Wipe my
Western
rear end?
Carolina.
Oh, I thought it was wipe my rear end school. Anyway, go ahead.
West Virginia Oklahoma on the 25th.
That'll
of
be
September.
a good one. Anyway, go ahead.
And Oklahoma and Texas Longhorns October the 9th.
That's going to be.
So they got 2 games.
They got 2 games, and if they lose either one of those games, the other ones are cupcake. As far as I'm concerned, everybody else may find Tulane's a better ball team, but that's just me. I just don't see it. I see that they could win. They could win completely out, but look at their strength of schedule. The Texas now is Texas ranked. That's what you got to look at. I don't think they are.
You had the rankings, didn't you?
Yeah, they're on the floor now, so it doesn't matter.
The number 12, 21.
Texas is ranked number 21.
That's overrated.
All right, so it's preseason. That what you said. So
College don't have a preseason. They go straight into the season like real men.
What you're saying is that Oklahoma, not what you're saying, but what they're saying is Oklahoma they're not gonna have to try a gauntlet until they get to the finals, until they get to the playoffs,
until they get to the conference finals.
This is why you should have a 16-team playoff. What do you think about that?
Okay, well, if you go 16-team playoff, guess what number 17 team is saying?
Yeah, but let's think about this right now. Think about this. If you go 16 teams, you're going to wash all this crap out.
Go ahead and take the top 4 teams from each conference and go with it. And whatever happens, happens.
Okay, so if you have 4 conferences, how many teams is that? Get your calculator out. It would be 16. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying.
Go with it.
And I think
then nobody can complain. I don't like the 2 team when they had the 2 team. I don't like the 4 team, even though I think it should be 10 to 12. So everybody can shut up. If they want to do 16, that's fine. My whole problem is they say it can't be a playoff, a true playoff can't be done, but Division II does it.
Yeah, every year.
And every year. So there's no problem there. And there's more colleges, I believe, at Division II than there is.
Here's the only problem that I have if you're doing a 16-team playoff. Because 9 times out of 10, what you do in any tournament with 16 teams, and if you're going to take the most valuable team at number 1, they're going to end up playing number 16. Number 2 is going to end up playing number 15. It's all the way down the schedule. So basically, what you're doing is you're giving
rid of the weak ones.
You're giving them a cupcake game to begin with. But what happens is you get that final 8 in there. Then now you've got those teams that should be in the top 8, and you can tell if the polls should be the way they should be at that point.
And I have no problem with it being that way. As far as if you're gonna have more than 4 teams, then open it up to even more.
A 16-team playoff, you can't.
You can't argue with the 16 teams.
No, you can't.
Because a number 4 and a number 5 from any conference, there should be a dramatic difference. In the talent.
I agree.
So go ahead and do it. What I don't like is saying, okay, we're going to take 4 teams and Auburn should beat so we're going to put Auburn in because they got the same record.
Right.
16, go with it, and then everybody can be quiet about it, except for number 17, who's going to say, "Well."
But then, if you're 17, you don't deserve to be up there anyway. You should have been fighting a larger schedule.
But what if they've got a better strength of schedule?
You may have a conversation.
But that's what I'm saying. You're still going, even if you go 16, 17's going to argue. If you say, okay, well, we're going to go 20, well, 21's going to argue. So you just do it.
But right now,
go with it.
Yeah, but right now, it's just like they did with this one, and they're talking about it. The NCAA is talking about it. Division I, they're talking about doing it. And they're talking about a 16-team playoff. The thing the problem you have right now is because that number 5. That number, you could have 4 or 5 teams at any point that could be tied either at, 10-1 or 9-1 or 10-0. So it's one of those things that at 4, yeah, you're getting a playoff. So you've got away from, okay, the BCS is not picking the teams. Now the teams are picking each other because that's just the way it goes. So then you run down, you're going to run the gauntlet on the other side. So I'm just kind of like, I'm in favor for it. I don't think this is the right one. I think it's better than what we had, the BCS, from what we had before. But I don't think that it should stop here. I think they should literally keep going, and they should either put 16 to 20 teams in. That's how I.
Well, they could do a playoff, but the thing is, they keep adding one game to the regular season, and then you got the conference championship. Would do away with less games during the regular season.
Well, then that doesn't benefit. See, that I don't agree with that either, because then what happens to those teams that want to try to get better? They don't have a chance to get better, because those teams that you're talking about that are going to make the playoffs are going to get to play 10 or 15 games. Whereas if you make less regular season games, you make it 8 or 9 or even 7, then those other teams aren't going to get a chance to play ball.
But you could do you could do. Why can't you do it like basketball?
Because
you've got the NCAA tournament and you've got the other tournament, the NIT. That's fine. You take the top teams from each conference, put them over there, and you take the others and do the bowl system.
But if you're going to do a 16, then you've got to do 17 to 20.
Well, let them play in the other tournament, called the NIT.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. But I didn't know we were talking about that. But that's a great idea. I completely agree with that. That would be absolutely.
I mean,
the best thing.
It's all about the money anyway.
Yeah. Pretty much. I mean,
that's why they're doing all this.
That's why Texas is coming into the SEC. That's why the SEC said, "Come on, bring your $300 million in."
The problem with the bowl games is you get a teams that are in there that are 5-5 or 6-6 versus another team that's 7-5 or another 6-6. Nobody cares about that game.
No, you're right.
Hey, where are we at with the Braves, Chris?
Braves are up by 7.
We are up.
Lost today, or was it yesterday?
Yesterday, lost 5-1.
Yeah, because they had had 8 games they won straight, and
they won 9 straight, and the Yankees have won 9 straight.
It was and then they ended up winning 10 today. So
So
they're number
is
1.
there a score yet? Because I know they started like 7-20.
Yeah, bottom of the first, 0-0.
Well, we ain't losing.
There you go. You're keeping it straight up across the board. So a couple things, just a couple of housekeeping things. I'm going to Florida. You're going to go. Where are y'all playing this week?
We are home.
All right.
Next week's game is against, I believe it's Lake Gibson, and will be on, I believe it's ESPN2.
Okay. So let's do this. If somebody wants to go see that Lowndes game, if they will email us or message us, I will give them 2 seats. 2 seats to that game. We have
no quiz or nothing. Just
no quiz
straight up first person say I want the tickets.
First person says they want tickets to the Lowndes game, and you'll get to know them because they're up there by you.
I can just tell you, if you want the tickets, they are at the very top of the stadium, the top row.
And you can see everything in the stadium. He'll actually have a camera, so he may interview you while they're there. And he may go get some reaction from Coach, because I just thought that they had problems last week, and he can counter that if he wants, because Jimmy will be there. So we've got, what was that? I saw a finger. We got 1 minute left.
He gave you the finger.
He gave me the finger. So we got 1 minute left. But what I also wanted to say was we're going to be on NBC. I mean, y'all tired of hearing this, but I'm so excited about this. On September the 4th from 9 in the morning till 10 in the morning. We also, we're going to be interviewing the gentlemen from the CW who are actually calling all of these high school games and high school rivals. They're going to be coming on the set, and we may be doing a show from Tallahassee. So I've been talking with Trish down there in Tallahassee. It works for CW, or works for the station down there. And they've got somebody that may want us to come in and do a show from down there. So we may be down there to see you guys in Tallahassee, and I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah.
You got any housekeeping stuff that you want to get rid of? Besides these papers on the floor, you need to pick them up, man.
Well, no, that's you. You're closer to the ground than I am. I didn't throw them down there. No, y'all come on out to Mama June's. We're here every Tuesday. 3284, I believe it is. What is it, Chris?
So we're
3284, 3286. Anyway, it's on Perimeter Road right there in front of Walmart.
It's on the top of the hill in front of Walmart. You can't miss it. One other thing is, I'm excited. We actually bought some more cameras, so we're looking up. Things are starting to get stronger. We're getting first person to say something. Has anybody mentioned anything? If they have or have not, first person to say something about Lowndes tonight. We'll get 2 free tickets to the Lowndes game. I don't think we have parking or anything, so but you'll get in the gate and you'll get to sit in the reserve section. So if you want to go to that Lowndes game, let us know. If not, we're going to be on the CW this weekend. Is Friday night. It's going to start at 7:30. I'll be when they figure out which school we're going to go to. So look us up there.
Okay. I think that pretty much covers it all.
As soon as every time when I get off of here, I'm like, oh man,
we should have talked about this or that.
Should have said that, or should have done this, or should have done that.
Chris, did your wife ever get you your plate of food, like you said?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Now he's lying. He's lying in front of his wife.
Yes, he is.
He's lying right in front of his wife. Now
you.
that is not what you're supposed to do, Chris. That's not what you're supposed to do. But anyway, guys, I enjoyed it, and I did mean to argue with you. By the way, I'm not taking any of that back.
Oh yeah, I know that.
We'll catch you next week, guys.
Have a good one.